because I think it's an amazing opportunity if you've been through a breakup or a loss to actually use it to find the truest you that you can be, to find exactly where you want to stand in this world. It's an opportunity. Every single thing that happens to us is an opportunity to see what's going on underneath. And it's the very same for any relationship breakup. As painful as it is, and as much as we don't want to see it, and as much as we just want to run away and get under the doona and just cry and escape from the world, there will be a point that you decide, hopefully, that you value yourself enough to decide that you won't suffer anymore. You can't stop the pain. Like, the emotion is a part of the life experience that we have. It's like we're living a feeling experience, right? So we have to feel. I mean, how can you think a feeling? You just can't. And yet we try to think our feelings. But if we remember that life is a feeling engagement, and if we're thinking it, we're missing out on so many levels. We're missing out on all the beauty that can come. And yeah, sure, there's sadness and there's pain, but we're engaged. Like, we are fully engaged in the life we're living. So today, on my little journey through breakup, it's day 3. And at about day 3, after my partner and I broke up, so this is around 2 or 3 days after I felt the disconnect. So for me, it was quite a shock, feeling this disconnection of energies. And there was also a whole lot of stuff happening, a whole lot of reasons that there was a break at that time. So I was still in shock. But I got to the point where I realized that I didn't want to suffer anymore. And I started to watch my feeling, and I started to think, oh, I want to use this. I mean, if this is happening to me and I can't change it, I want to use it. And I was observing how the more I thought about things, the worse I felt. And so what I wanted to share with you today was some of the things that I did when I realized that I was just at a place that I couldn't get out of. And I had all this crazy thinking going on. I mean, the story became so powerful in my mind, and it just amplified the feeling. And this is why when we're feeling something, being able to get out of our thinking and just feel it, just have the experience of feeling, is so important, because the thoughts that we add to the feeling amplify the pain. So there were some really interesting things that I did that I'd never done before. I'd been an emotions practitioner for a lot of years, and I'd worked with a lot of people on their emotions. And it's so ironic, isn't it? I mean, this always happens, hey? You know, when you've got all these incredible tools and you work with people, and then something happens to you and none of your tools work. So I couldn't meditate because there's no way I could meditate. I was writing, but my writing was even just a garbled mess, and it wasn't really helping me. So on this day that I woke up and I decided that I wasn't going to suffer anymore, there were some things that I did. I just made a commitment to myself, which was, I'm not going to suffer anymore. I'll be darned if I'm going to suffer in this. I'm just going to feel the pain. I know I can't escape that. And I want help. I started asking for help. I don't know who I was asking. Well, I do really. I was asking the divine. I believe in, for me, there's a divine presence that I feel, that I sense, that I've often been, or always been connected with, really, since a child. You can call it what you will. It's love. It's the love in me. It's the love everywhere, Mother Nature, whatever you want to call it. For me, that was my call out. And interestingly enough, I had 3 friends ring me that day. And one of my friends, one of these beautiful friends, she just had a baby. So for those of you that have babies, you know that it's a very challenging time. Like, you're probably not sleeping very much. I think the baby was about 6 months old. So, and he still wasn't sleeping. So she's running really low on sleep. She's running quite low on everything, meeting her needs. She's got an older child. And she said to me, ring me whenever you need me. If it's the middle of the night, ring me. And I went, I can't ring you. Like, you've got a baby, you never sleep. She goes, ring me, I'm here for you. And for me, that little lifeboat, like, I knew that I could ring someone and just offload the story, but she didn't buy into my story. So this is really important too. The people that you choose to share with. Someone said to me the other day, I felt so talked out. And I was thinking about that because I think when you talk about what's happening over and over again and your feelings aren't recognised, you do feel talked out. But if you just share what you're sharing and the person you're sharing with validates your feeling and doesn't get into the story, doesn't go, oh, what an idiot, or that sucks, or whatever people do to help us feel supported. If they're not affirming the story, if they're simply going, hey, that really must have felt bad for you, I hear where you're at. They don't have to fix you. They don't have to solve anything. They just have to listen to you. And every time I rang her, I felt a little bit of relief. It was like I just let the story go a little bit and I could see a bit of light. And that one thing was really critical for me. I had another male friend that I rang. And so between them, I knew that if one wasn't available, I had the other one. And I rang them so often in that first couple of weeks. And they listened. They didn't judge. They didn't get into the story. They didn't whatever. Sometimes they could see things I couldn't see. And that was this incredible life raft. And I'd never appreciated my friends as much as what I did at that time. Like, I just really, really valued the people, especially these two people, but the other people that came into my life around that time. That was one thing I did. And that helped me get rid of the story in my thinking so I could see a little bit of light, so I could start to make some conscious choices. I could start to take a little bit of movement forward and I wasn't just stuck in this quagmire emotion. And the second thing that I did was I was looking through my phone and I was thinking, who would know what to do in these situations? Who would know? Who's been through something similar? Who has had experience with people that have been through something similar? And I remembered meeting a lady like 2 years ago, and she just seemed to me like quite a wise lady. And I thought, I'm just going to ring her. And so I rang her out of the blue and I explained where I was at. I said, I didn't really know what was happening, but this is how I felt. And I said to her, I need to be able to stop my thinking. I need to be able to get out of my story. I need to just be able to move through this because I can't do anything. I'm on my bed. I can't see any light. And she said to me that she has a situation in her life that often triggers her. And when her mind steps in to amplify the feeling, she's just in a mess. She said, I can't afford the first thought. But she said one thing that really helped me was I had a prayer that I used to say over and over again. She said, and it was like my mind just became totally absorbed in learning this prayer. And every time I feel the thinking come in around this particular event, when I'm triggered, I just go straight to that. And I say it over and over and over again. And that was one of these, there's a few things that happened that were just these like pivotal points for me. And this was another one of them. And I decided to learn the prayer of St. Francis of Assisi. If you know it, I've got it here. I'm going to read it to you because I've actually forgotten a lot of the lines, which I think is quite amazing. But back then, I learnt it and I said it over and over and over again. It goes like this. Lord, and I just went, divine, make me an instrument of your peace. Where there is hatred, let me sow love. Where there is injury, pardon. Where there is doubt, faith. Where there is despair, hope. Where there is darkness, light. Where there is sadness, joy. O Divine Mother, grant that I may not seek so much to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to understand, to be loved as to love. For it's in giving that we receive, it's in pardoning that we are pardoned, and it's in dying that we are born to eternal life. And I think those words, they embodied a feeling for me. And it was a feeling of coming home to the truth of who I am. And so I said that over and over again when my thoughts got in my way. There's a beautiful version of those words sung by Sarah McLachlan on Spotify. And it is so gorgeous. I listen to it over and over again, and I highly recommend you go listen to it if you feel so inclined. Anyway, that's day 3 from me. I hope you've really got something out of that, and if not, well, so be it. I hope you have a beautiful day anyway. I'm sending you love, and remember that you really are worth moving through any breakup or loss that you're going through right now. Just keep loving yourself. Stay in the process and keep loving yourself. Sending you love.